Bon Jovi are no stranger to success, seemingly going from strength to strength since their eponymous debut album back in 1984. For nearly 40 years, the holy trinity of Sweet Child of Mine, Summer of '69 and Living on a Prayer have jointly shared the crown for that song at the end of the night. What happened to launch them into the musical stratosphere in order for them to stand out during the fleeting days of hair metal, sleaze or glam? What is the secret that Bon Jovi have been hiding? To answer the question in its simplest form, Desmond Child. This is Hidden in Plain Sight. Tommy used to wee on the chair. Child's career started in 1975 with the band Desmond Child and Rouge. Along with Desmond, it featured three singers, Diana Grasselli, Miriam Val, and Maria Vidal, Desmond's girlfriend at the time. The band had minor success. Frequently while performing in New York, Rouge were often joined backstage by Stanley Eisen, more widely known to the world as Paul Stanley from Kiss.
Hey, I'm Paul Stanley.
Paul seemed to be enamoured with the band.
Paul Stanley used to come and hang out, and he'd be backstage with us, and I really didn't know that much about Kiss. Kiss to me was kind of very hard rock, but also was something that very young kids listened to.
I Was Made for Loving You goes on to be one of the biggest hits for Kiss. It's still performed around the world to this day, despite the hate from Gene Simmons.
You're killing me.
Desmond goes on to work with one of Gene's old flames, Cher. He again works with Kiss, penning even more hits during their big, overly flamboyant 80s period.
Hey look, I'm milking cows.
Bon Jovi were kind of a manufactured band of sorts. They were actually built around John's record deal.
I had what was slowly becoming a hit without a band, and I had been using members of Rick Springfield's band and of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band.
None of the Bon Jovi members, as we've come to know, actually even featured on the single Runaway. This incredibly features Roy Bittan on keyboards and future Bon Jovi musician for hire, Hugh MacDonald. The band were pretty much session hires in a way, made up of various working musicians, friends or local talent. Initially, John's friend and neighbour Dave Sabo toured with the band on lead guitar for a 3-week stint to promote the demo for Runaway, although he never officially joined the band. Dave would go on to form the band Skid Row in 1986. Replacing Dave was Richie Sambora.
John.
Personally, I don't know what John saw in him.
Now, Sambora had already toured with Joe Cocker, and had even auditioned for Kiss in 1983 to replace Ace Frehley.
But you're kind of like a spaceman, huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber.
I didn't get the gig because I don't think I wanted it. It wasn't my type of, nothing against Kiss because I know them. We toured with them as an opening act. I just was not ever that wasn't my style of what I was looking to do.
Bon Jovi's debut tour as a band was in fact a world tour. A mixture of gigs supporting the Scorpions in North America and Kiss on the European leg. You could say that this tour actually changed the world of music forever. Bon Jovi released their second album, and they disown it not long after they make it big. It would disappear from their setlists for years to come, with no reprise. Falling in love with the song Heaven's on Fire, and knowing he really needed help, John reached out to Paul Stanley.
Hello, Paul Stanley.
Hey Paul, it's John.
Oh, hi, John. Yeah, it's Paul Stanley.
This isn't a bad time, you're not, busy?
Oh, no, I'm not busy. I was just watching my stories.
Okay, cool, man.
You know, there's this new guy on television. He can do anything. You give him an apple and a toothpick, and this guy'll turn it into a tank. He's like the one-man A-team.
You know, I don't really have time for the television.
Not even Cheers? Everybody watches Cheers. What the hell's wrong with you, John? Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Where are we going, John? You know.
Paul, listen, man, we could really use a songwriter right now. And I know you've got your guy and...
Oh yeah, Desmondo. You know he'll really get you out of the rut. He'll do it all. You just have to pay him half.
Desmond rents a car. He drives from New York City to New Jersey to meet John and Richie in Sambora's mum's basement.
Excellent.
The spark of original thought just doesn't seem to be there with John and Richie whatsoever. It seems strange that the best thing John can suggest is a title of a song he loves. Shot Through the Heart from the first Bon Jovi album. This really does sum up the rut that they were in at the time. Now, Desmond had recently worked with Bonnie Tyler on her 1986 album, Secret Dreams and Forbidden Fire. He'd written a song with Jim Steinman called If You Were a Woman and I Was a Man. Child decided to have another shot, rewrite the lyrics, package it with a different band, and see where it goes. Deeming the session as a success, Bon Jovi wanted to meet with Child again. He agreed, but on the terms that this time they would come out to New York City and work with him there. He borrowed a friend's apartment who happened to own a piano so they could work on new music. Now Desmond, thinking back to his relationship with Maria Vidal, began to write about his experiences. While Desmond stayed at home working on songs, Maria worked as a waitress at a diner called Once Upon a Stove. They would all call her Gina because she reminded them of the Italian actress Gina Lollobrigida. Born John Charles Barrett, Desmond decides to use his real name in the song and begin working on the story of Johnny and Gina. Now John, not wanting the song to sound like it was about him, suggested that this was changed. And from that moment on, from Desmond's mind, Tommy and Gina were born.
Tommy used to work on the docks. The union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough.
John didn't even want to record Living on a Prayer. Both Desmond and Richie had to beg him to do it. News of Desmond's success begins to travel through the industry. He's hired by the label and forced onto Aerosmith. This is frosty at first, as they don't want to work with an external party.
The A&R guy for Aerosmith forced me on the group. They had never written with somebody that was outside of the band, or maybe with a producer.
Bon Jovi once again come calling. Child works with them on the New Jersey album, penning such hits as Bad Medicine and Born to Be My Baby. The 80s hadn't been as kind to Alice Cooper, so Alice calls in Child and Child calls in the troops. Aerosmith, Diane Warren, Joan Jett, John Bon Jovi, Kip Winger, Richie Sambora, Steve Lukather. The album was a huge success for all involved, written and produced by Child, and features Hugh McDonald on bass once again. While working on Cher's Heart of Stone, Child, along with Sambora, Jovi, Warren, Bolton, and Journey's Jonathan Cain, penned the tracks to make up the album. Child actually features on backing vocals on Cher's Turn Back Time, along with Steve Lukather on guitar.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.
Child was continuously rehired by many of the previously mentioned. No surprise then that when Bon Jovi returned to the studio, they took Desmond along with them. Writing Keep the Faith, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, Something for the Pain, listening on Love Song, Diamond Ring. He worked with Aerosmith on the next two albums, co-writing the ballad Crazy. The guy pens All Before I Die for Robbie Williams, Living La Vida Loca for Ricky Martin. I mean, this guy wrote the fucking Thong song. Child enters the millennium with a solid pop mentality. For the next 20 years he works with Meatloaf, Kelly Clarkson, Hilary Duff, Carrie Underwood, Lindsay Lohan, Katy Perry. The guy really doesn't need a steady paycheck. I can't find anything in his catalogue post 2015. So, Bon Jovi. I'm not saying that no good tracks were written without Desmond Child. It's pretty obvious that he clearly steered Bon Jovi into superstardom. He was for Bon Jovi like he was for many others, a secret weapon, writing hits in the background for artists to take credit for and perform. Now, don't feel too bad. He's worth $200 million. He's won a range of awards and is greatly respected and revered within the industry. The next time you're singing about Tommy and Gina, just remember Desmond and Maria. Feel free to comment, subscribe and hit that like button. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. This has been Hidden in Plain Sight. Thank you for watching.
Hey! Oh, crap.